Rolls to his right, fires downfield, has McDonough at the 25, far sideline, gets a block, 10, 5, touchdown!
Runner tags, throw down to home plate, on line, throw back to third, tag is in time!
And I now have the privilege of presenting a valedictorian award for Canyon Lake High School to Erica Colston.
You're watching Hawks Network!
Just a decade ago, Canyon Lake High School opened its doors to freshmen and sophomores in the Comal ISD. The Hawk football program in 2009 under head coach Matt Manzingo finished the season with an impressive 6-5 record with wins over Gonzales, Liberty Hill, and Llano, only to fall to China Spring in their first ever playoff appearance. The Hawks would see a step up in classification from 3 to 4A under head coach Charlie Drum. In 2014, they'd pick up a postseason win against La Vega before falling to Rockport Fulton. Last year, the Hawks finished second in 14-4A with a 7-4 overall record and fell to Liberty Hill in the first round of the playoffs. The Canyon Lake Hawks come into tonight's contest as District 14-4A champs with a 9-2 overall record and a first-round 31-21 win over Gatesville last Friday night. They take on the 15-4A co-champion Pleasanton Eagles, who are enjoying their first 10-win season since 2012 under first-year head coach Stephen Liska, and came off of a 32-16 win over Rio Grande City Gruya last Friday night. It's the Pleasanton Eagles and the Canyon Lake Hawks tonight, right here on the Hawks Network.
The University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to the Army National Guard, Baden, Balfour, Baylor Scott and White, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Tick-A-Tap Ticketing. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community, and thank you for listening to this state playoff contest. Enjoy the game.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and from us here at the Hawks Network to you, a very, very special happy Thanksgiving weekend. And welcome and have a joyous holiday season as well. My name is Roland J. Dries, and I'm sitting alongside this evening a gentleman who's been in these situations quite a few times, also played his college football at Baylor, and even days in the National Football League. Jeff Gandy with us tonight. I got a question for you before we get started, though.
Yeah, Roland.
We've had a nice conversation before we got started. You've been here before.
Yes, sir.
Now, Jeff, what is it like? I mean, how is it different, say, from the first game of the season to an all-important district game? What's the different feeling going into the playoffs? What's going through a player's mind?
Well, for one thing, it's not as hot as it is in August when you usually get started in the season. So therein lies, it really feels like football weather when you come into November. But to your point, Roland, you know what? This is what you practice in the off season and through summer camp, and you go through training camp, and then you start the season. Really, when you get to the point at right now in the playoffs, it's a whole lot of fun. But I tell you, the intensity is also up. But I think the coaches do a good job of leveling the intensity to know that this is all for the fun of it all. This is what we do to get here. And, you know, it's like do or die. You have to win to go on. And so I think the players step it up a bit. The premier players always try to play and shine their talent a little bit more than they typically would. And there's no holding back. You give 110% on every play because, you know, that might be the one play that costs you from going home and not playing the next week. So I say just from my experiences, it's a whole lot of fun, and it's really the reason why you go through the season.
Jeff, and we're in for a dandy tonight. As Canyon Lake Hawks coming into this one. They got the job done last week against Gatesville. 373 yards of total offense. Now 342 of those were on the ground, and 125 of those 342 yards came from Tristan Chacon.
Yeah, You know, Chacon, I've been able to see him in a few games earlier in the season, and I'll tell you what, he's really stepped it up as he had to fill in for injured Tanner Ferris earlier in the season as well. And even though Ferris has come back into the lineup, Chacon really did demonstrate his ability in running with the football, but also catching the football coming out of the backfield as well. So he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. You know, he can do a little bit of everything, and you need him there. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife that you can do anything with it, and that's kind of what Chacon's been for the offense this season.
Now, you know, that being said, the Hawks surrendered 322 total yards to Gatesville last week. 234 of those were in the air. Now, that kind of segues into the Pleasanton Eagles under quarterback Johnny Zamora. He likes to sling the football.
He will, and he'll do the same thing tonight. You know, these teams aren't going to do anything different than what they typically have done to get him here. And we know that Zamora, is very effective in throwing the football. He has 3 different receivers he likes to disseminate the football to, and he also has a really nice running back, Austin Renner, who also has an average of 4 yards per carry, 620-plus yards so far in the season. So it's not just throwing the football, but it's balancing that attack by handing the ball off to Renner as well.
You know, that being said, the Eagle defense did give up 280 yards to Gruya last week. 255 of those on the ground, which kind of brings us full circle to Canyon Lake once again. And they'll have to concentrate on shutting down the Hawk running game this evening. It's kind of like we mentioned, it's going to be ground Hawk versus air Eagle out here tonight in this playoff contest.
I think that's a great way of really stating the content of tonight's contest. I mean, it's good on good. It's what one team does well versus what the other team does well, and we'll see which one cracks a little bit and has an advantage at the end of the scoreboard.
You know, the Hawks Network, our very own Brent Freeman had a chance to sit down with head coach Charlie Drum of the Canyon Lake Hawks, and he kind of goes over what will be happening in tonight's game and different things he's looking for, and we're going to take a listen to that visit here in just a moment. You're listening to Canyon Lake Hawks football right here on the Hawks Network.
And welcome back to Hawks Football Weekly. This week, Canyon Lake playing the Pleasanton Eagles in round 2 of the postseason. The Eagles come with a record of 10-1, and like the Hawks, a district champion this season as well. So obviously, Coach, any opponent this time of year is going to be tough. What initial impressions do you have of the Eagles?
Well, again, they were co-district champs with Somerset. Anytime you win 10 ball games, you know you're playing a good ball club. It really starts with they have a good quarterback. He can run the ball. He throws the ball, very accurate passer. And they're very opportunistic on defense. You know, they haven't given up many points except to Somerset this year. You know,
you mentioned the play of the quarterback, Johnny Zamora. Touchdown and interception ratio this season of 30-2. He's averaging more than 16 yards per completion. A lot of big plays for this Eagles offense. You've played, though, against some great passing offenses this year. Wimberley, Bernie, Fredericksburg, Taylor, last week against Gatesville. What makes the Eagles passing offense stand out?
Well, he's very accurate. You know, he's got 3 or 4 receivers that can catch the ball with any receivers we played against this year, and he's a threat on the ground. You know, he can tuck it and run it. But you know, anytime you throw 30 touchdown passes, you know, contrasted with 2 interceptions, you know, you're playing a very good ball player.
You face some great receivers throughout the season with those passing offenses, great quarterbacks, but great receivers with them. But your secondary has been up to the task the entire season. How impressed have you been by their play throughout the year?
Oh, they've been solid. Again, like you said, we've played some very good passing teams, and this week won't be different. You know, they're going to challenge our secondary, and hopefully we can get some pressure up front to help out those guys in the back end.
You brought up the play of the defense for Pleasanton this season. They've given up 7 points or less 5 times this year, to include a pair of shutouts. What challenges do they present defensively?
Their turnover ratio is very good, and they just fly to the football. They play with great energy. They get some momentum going, and they're hard to stop.
There is no school this week. You have a holiday coming up on Thursday with Thanksgiving. In terms of your routine and getting ready for a Friday game at 7, how much of an effect does all that have?
You know, we're going to practice the same amount of time. You know, it's all going to be clumped together. Practice late in the morning, but hopefully the kids will respond well. It's another first for Canyon Lake. We've never practiced during Thanksgiving break, so hopefully it goes well.
And Coach, finally, what are the keys can you break down for us that you feel like might factor into the game come Friday?
Turnovers. You know, we struggled a little bit with that in the third quarter last week, and hopefully we cure that. And Pleasanton forces a lot of turnovers, and again, you know, it's our same game plan every week. Our offense staying on the field, keeping their offense off the field.
Back with you now, Gustafson Stadium. I guess I should have mentioned where we're playing this evening. Gustafson Stadium in Northside San Antonio. This is home to a lot of the high school football teams in the Northside ISD here in San Antonio, Texas, as the Canyon Lake Hawks are coming out of their inflated hawk, I guess, on the far side of the field. Getting set for this one this evening. And Jeff, your keys, what are your observations and feelings towards this, knowing a little bit, of course, seeing Canyon Lake a good part of this season and knowing a little bit about Pleasanton?
Well, I tell you, obviously, like I mentioned before, what Pleasanton wants to do is control the game, but they have big-time playmakers where they can strike at any time. They can go to distance at any time, and what they want to do is spread you out and dink and dunk it a little bit with the football and hit you vertical down the field. But then again, they've got Renner who can pop it right up the middle as well. So they're going to try to establish themselves, and this is going to be the tempo, the flow from the very beginning of the game. When you look at the other side of the field, little Canyon Lake, they're very good. They want to beat you up. They're a little bit of a bully football when it comes to running the football, and that's what they're going to do between tackles. Down and down again. And right now from Gustafson Stadium, we're going to step aside for our national anthem, and we'll be back in just a moment with Kickoff. You're listening to Hawks football right here on the Hawks Network.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas Produce Department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Daddy's got to go to work.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC, Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart.
Make memories of a lifetime this Thanksgiving weekend at Bernie's 18th Annual Dickens on Main celebration, Friday and Saturday, November 24th and 25th. Stroll Main Street Snowy Wonderland as you enjoy live ice sculpting, a 60-foot snow slide, photos with Santa, and of course holiday shopping along Bernie's Hill Country Mile. Dickens on Main features fun children's activities, live performances like Bah Humbug, a one-man Christmas carol, horse-drawn carriages, food merchants, and amazing concerts each night. And admission is free. Visit dickensonmain.com for all the details.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
And back with you now, Hawks pregame continues here from Gustafson Stadium. Jeff Gandy along with Roland J. Reese, and right now the coin toss taking place as the team captains meeting out on the 50-yard line. The Canyon Lake Hawks in their white, I guess, visitors' jerseys, as you would, with the green numerals and the dark football helmets. The Pleasanton Eagles in their shade of Kelly green with white numerals and the green helmets as well. That's the way they'll be looking this evening, and the coin toss taking place right now. Hopefully get a word from the referee as to who wins this. Well, just to let you know, the winner of this contest will go on to face the La Vega Pirates, who earlier today in San Antonio got a big 54-7 win over King.
Canyon Lake has won the toss, elected to receive. Pleasanton will defend end zone with the clock.
There you go. And almost on cue, the referee lets us know that it'll be Hawk football to start the ball game this evening. As the two teams exchange pleasantries, come back to the sideline, and the Pleasanton Eagle players are telling their fans here on the home side, hey, let's get up and make some noise. Let's get excited about this. And what's not to get excited about? Here we go. High school
it's football time.
Absolutely.
Let's tee it up.
62 degrees at kickoff right now. We're right around the fourth quarter. We should see temperatures somewhere around 58. Jeff, as you were mentioning, that's football weather.
It's perfect weather, especially here in South Texas. I mean, we're getting in the 50s or 60s. It's like, I don't know, heaven on earth almost.
Yeah,
in the
it's
sense of that.
not like that oven you start the season with.
And the humidity, it's low humidity, and that's the main thing. And so we won't see players cramping out on the football field, but we'll see a lot of energy. And, of course, it's Friday night. This is a typical night that these teams will be playing, so nothing's new. Their whole week schedule has not been disrupted. And even though it's been Thanksgiving yesterday, typically Thursday it's a light day, and you usually just rest up anyway prior to your game on Friday. So both teams, their typical weekly schedule has not been interrupted. So this is perfect. This is just as it's been written up.
Trent Lorette, along with Joseph Ruiz and Grayson Lee, back to receive the Pleasanton Eagle kickoff. Ladies and gentlemen, we are underway from Gustafson Stadium. This one coming to the near side. Be taken by one of the up men who gets down around the 33-yard line before he's driven out of bounds. And on the kickoff return, that is Tristan Chacon. I'm sure we're going to be calling that young man's number and name quite a bit this evening.
Well, not bad field position starting the football game right there at the 36-yard line, and we'll see what the Hawks have what they're going to do here this first series. It's going to be important that they establish something very positive, try to get some points on the board here.
Ben Fulton, a 6'1", 200-pound senior, 3-year starter for Canyon Lake, will be at the helm. Has a receiver out to the far side, single receiver to the near side. This time, handoff going straight ahead for a couple of tough yards, and carrying the football that time, Jacob Ruff, before he's met there and stopped by number 38 for the Pleasanton Eagles. And we'll have to check that young man's number because I believe he's not on the roster. We'll check that. Or that might be 30, correction. That is Santiago Gomez.
Well, it looks like the Eagles are going to be in a typical 34 defense, but they're going to stack it a little bit more by bringing the linebackers up. They want to stack the box up because the Hawks are going to run the football almost every play.
Second down, as we mentioned, the carry that time by Chacon, who tries to get around the far side to the 40-yard line before he's met there. He'll be stopped for a small gain. It'll bring up third and call it 5 for Canyon Lake.
Well, that time the outside were the right 5 technique. Number 58, Hunter Norman, did a nice job of sticking his nose in the gap and plugging it up where Chacon had nowhere to go.
3rd and 5, the handoff this time around the far side. Leaping and jumping, as we were mentioning, that is Tanner Ferris, who gets across the first down marker. That should move the chains and give the Hawks a first down. Great run that time by Ferris, who is a 5'11", 180-pound senior.
Well, you know, I mentioned that the Canyon Lake offense is basically like bully-type style of football, but it's bullying with finesse into it because they will run a lot of misdirection.
From the 47, it's first down. Here's a handoff straight ahead. As you were mentioning, that ground game going at it once again is straight ahead. Goes the running back, Micah St. John. Now, that young man, a very heralded running back in their backfield.
Yeah. Well, again, we're going to see several runners get the handoff from Fulton tonight, and St. John is just one of 4 that will probably tote the rock a little bit here tonight.
St. John checking out of the game after a gate of 3 at 2nd and 7. They're in tight. Here's the snap, the give around the right side. Ooh, nice hole across the 45. Down to around the 40-yard line goes the running back, Joseph Ruiz.
Well, that's that little misdirection, kind of a counter coming back on the outside, and the pulling guard was number 66, Devin Cordell. He's 6'3", 260, sophomore, and he did a nice job coming around the end and knocking the end down. That really gave the runner the edge that he needed to get the first down.
That moves the chains now from the 40-yard line of the Pleasanton Eagles. It's another first down for the Canyon Lake Hawks. They've been getting it done on the ground and quite effectively. Once again in tight. Here's Fulton to give this time. Ruiz once again across the 35 down to around the 33-yard line. I think they're saying the ball is on the ground. No indication from the referee yet.
Are they saying the ground calls a fumble, or?
They're saying it is Pleasanton Eagle football. And the Kelly Green faithful are letting you hear it. At that time, Ruiz dropped the ball.
Well, it's a little bit unfortunate because Joseph Ruiz had a nice gain on that run, and it looked like he got stripped right as he was going down to the turf by one of the Eagle defenders for a turnover, our first turnover of the game.
Ethan Solomon that time with the fumble recovery for Pleasanton. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Line of scrimmage is their own 33-yard line. So we see the quarterback, Johnny Zamora, this time. Shotgun formation, barking out the signals. Quick out this time, just out of the outreached arms of Gabriel Murillo from his slot receiver position.
Well, you see right there by the formation, they're going to try to spread this defense out, rolling a little bit, and they're going to try to hit any kind of out pass, quick pop pass or quick screen pass. Then you're going to probably end up going vertical down the field. Watch this by the formation.
3 receivers to the far side once again. The shotgun, it's a 2nd down. Here's Zamora dropping back. He looks right side. He's got a man at the 35 and on across to the 40-yard line. Goes his receiver, and I believe it is Murillo once again, this time hauling it in.
Well, you had trips on the wide side of the field, and the 2 outside receivers go deep, pushing the secondary man out, pass deep, and then Murillo went on the outside on a quick out flat, and he's wide open.
It's 3rd and 4 Pleasanton from their own 39-yard line. Once again, Zamora taking it from the shotgun. This time penalty markers on the field. I think they're going to get a procedure call.
Prior to the snap, false start on number 4 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So that takes it from a 3rd and 4 to a 3rd and 9 for Pleasanton. Just underway, 9:06 left to go here, first quarter. This is the Eagles' first offensive possession of the evening, as Canyon Lake has already had their first. Here's the snap. Once again, Zamora straight across the middle, pass complete. This is Mendiola. He gets down past the first down marker before he's met and wrapped up there by Jacob Neal of Canyon Lake.
We knew that the Hawk defense is a little bit susceptible to the pass, and this time their secondary is in zone, and they stay zone all the way across the board, and that time the receiver is able just to settle in behind the linebackers in front of the safety, and it's wide open, and that time it was a nice pass and catch.
1st and 10 Eagles from their own 44-yard line, and I think we've got a miscue once again on offense. And the Hawks are saying, Hawks were saying, they were indicating, no, this is against them. Let's back it up a little bit.
Well, of course. It's always offensive line fault.
So that'll back it up. It'll be 1st and 15 this time for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is their own 39-yard line. They're going to send Isaac Mendiola along with Gabriel Murillo and Dalton Hobbs flanked out to the near side. Single receiver to the far side. That beating Jordan Bosquez on a 1st and 15.
Oh.
Quick out this time. That was intended for Mendiola. Batted away at the line of scrimmage. And the defensive back, Grayson Lee, actually from his middle linebacker position, almost came up on that.
Yeah, he was reading the quarterback's eyes just then rolling. And as soon as he was getting ready to pump that ball and release it, Lee made a nice break on the football. Had his hands on it. Would have came up with a big turnover if he could have hauled that in.
2nd and 15 now, Eagles. Once again, line of scrimmage is their own 39-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side, and a lone back in the backfield this time with the quarterback Johnny Zamora taking the snap. Quick drop, looks near side, pass complete. This is Hobbs out to around the 45-yard line before he's met there, wrapped up by Carmen McDonough. We were talking about him as being a big target. He does 6'5", nice size target out there.
Well, he's very tall. For a defensive cornerback, he does it very well, and they usually put him one-on-one or out here on the strong side with one of the better receivers of their opponents. He's a heck of an athlete. So Madonna did a nice job that time coming up with a quick out to Hobbs and came up and made a nice tackle.
Eagles got half of it back. It's 3rd and 8 on their own 46-yard line. Once again from the pistol, Johnny Zamora takes a snap. Quick drop looking across the middle. He's hit as he unloads it, but his pass is complete. This is Mendiola on the far side of the field. He gets into Canyon Lake territory across the 35 down to around the 33-yard line. That'll move the chains. It'll be another 1st down for Pleasanton.
Boy, lucky for Zamora because number 4, Parker Reno, was hitting him right in the chops as he's delivering that pass, and it was just enough to make it to the receiver, good for a 1st down. But heck of a job by the middle linebacker blitzing on that play.
Reno very celebrated on that Hawk defense. I believe he leads the team in tackles, if I'm not mistaken.
He's one of them.
First and 10, line of scrimmage, the Hawk 35. 3 receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. Here's the give up the middle. We talked about this young man as well. It's a running back, Austin Renner, who blasts his way across the right side of that line for a couple of tough yards.
Well, now we sensed a kind of a rhythm and a rhyme to the Eagle defense. I mean, offense at this point. You know, passing the ball, getting those quick outs, and now hitting the Renner up the middle. And we're seeing more of a rhythm with their offense. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do here with 2nd and long.
It is 2nd and 7. Once again, 2 receivers either side for cornerback Johnny Zamora taking the snap. This time he goes right side, has Mendiola once again across the 25 down to around the 20-yard line before he's driven out of bounds over there by Jacob Neal, and that'll move the chains once again for the Eagles.
Well, it looks like it's a pretty easy pass and catch when they're in double slot, and the inside slot receiver, the corners, giving them so much cushion that it's just a quick hit to them and let them go one-on-one with the defender, and they're able to pick up enough for the first down.
1st and 10, Eagles on the Canyon Lake 19-yard line. Here's the snap. This time Zamora, the keeper, up the middle before he's drunk down there from behind.
I think Renner went right and Zamora went left.
Might have been just a little miscue there that time, but Zamora does pick up 2. Eagles at the red zone on their first offensive drive of the ball game. It's 2nd and 8. Line of scrimmage is the 17-yard line. They need to get to the 9 for a first down. Here's Zamora once again. Single receiver to the far side. He's got 2 to the near side, 1 in the slot. Zamora this time finding his receivers are covered. He'll go ahead and take off with the ball across the 10. Zamora falls at about the 5-yard line. There once again is McDonough making there for the stop for Canyon Lake.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great ability by Zamora right there, where he didn't have anybody open. He was kept his feet moving. He was feeling the pressure from the outside, stepping up in the pocket, and then later being flushed out to his left. He showed a lot of athleticism and made enough for a first down.
It'll be 1st and goal. Pleasanton line of scrimmage is the Canyon Lake 6-yard line. As quarterback Zamora this time conferring with the sidelines and head coach Stephen Liska. And I believe it's a timeout on the field.
And 1 second left on the play clock.
Wisely called. So with that one, we'll take this one. 4:42 left to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Pleasanton is driving. This is Hawks football on the Hawks Network.
This is the story of 9 hopeful bakers and 3 wise judges.
This is a holiday baking beauty.
We have been blessed with a holiday miracle. I nailed it.
Who will become the holiday baking champion?
All new Holiday Baking Championship, Monday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
Back with you at Gustafson Stadium. It's 1st and goal for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is the Canyon Lake 6-yard line. Zamora takes the snap, tries to unload to the far side as he was rolling out. Nothing doing there. Good defensive pursuit that time coming from the Hawks.
Yeah, Zamora was rolling out to his right, trying to hit his receiver on the flat, and really Grayson Lee, number 8, coming up from his linebacker position, was putting so much pressure on Zamora he could never really get a good pass off, I should say, and he overthrew the receiver. So good defensive play by Lee.
2nd and goal, Pleasanton at the Hawks 6. Once again, Zamora goes from the pistol. He takes the snap, handoff straight up the middle. This is Renner. Bounces out across the 5 to near the 4-yard line before he's met there and dropped. And that'll beat Jacob Foster on the stop that time for Canyon Lake. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
Interesting call here on third down on the 6-yard line. You know, the passing lanes and passing windows are really tight down here in the red zone, particularly when you're on the 6-yard line. So we'll see what he does.
This time Zamora will send 2 receivers either side. They have a lone back in the backfield with him. Once again, pistol. Here's the snap, and we had movement. No penalty markers on the field. There's one. Here's Zamora rolling out to his right. He's being chased. Zamora slips a tackle and into the end zone for a Pleasanton Eagle touchdown. Let's check that penalty marker, though.
I bet it's going to be offsides against the Hawks. This will stand.
That is indeed the call. So with 3:49 left to go in the first quarter, the Pleasanton Eagles draw first blood on a Johnny Zamora 4-yard touchdown run.
I don't think you could have written a better script for the first drive of your offensive series this first quarter than marching down the field 60-something yards for a touchdown by the Eagles.
The extra point attempt is good. With 3:49 left to go in the first quarter, our score, Pleasanton 7, Canyon Lake nothing. We'll be back with more Hawks playoff football in just a moment here on the Hawks Network.
We are the UIL.
From the coaches
to the players to the educators.
We've been in your shoes.
Extracurricular activities are essential to the development of our youth.
From proposed rule changes
to the relaxation of transfer rules, we keep it fair.
New academic contests, we hear you loud and clear.
New events are music to our ears. We just added film. That's a wrap.
Educational activities help young people become productive citizens.
From staph infections to steroid use.
To cardiac and concussions.
Health and safety is a priority.
Heat, heart, and health history.
From heat-related illness to head injuries to heart-related issues to the medical history of students.
Your well-being is our priority because we are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
Back with you live at Gustafson Stadium, Roland J. Reese alongside Jeff Gandy. The Pleasanton Eagles on the scoreboard with a 7-0 lead over Canyon Lake in our playoff contest this evening. Kickoff taken at about the 30-yard line and plowing ahead to near the 35. Goes the return man. That is Trenton Laurent. And the Hawks will have the football. We've got to see if they've got an answer in them now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you get in the playoffs, you ask that question in pregame, you know, what's the difference? Well, you're playing against a good team. And whenever you turn the ball over like the Hawks did on their opening drive, that other team is good enough to capitalize on it. And that's exactly what the Eagles did from Pleasanton. And I tell you what, their coach, Liska, couldn't have written a better script to start the game with.
1st and 10, line of scrimmage is the 35-yard line of Canyon Lake. Fulton under center. This time the handoff tries to go to the right side as he gives the ball to Micah St. John. Nothing doing there. That stingy Eagle defense pushing him back. That time in on the stop. I believe that was Javier Escamilla that came up and made the stop. Also some help as well from Clavin Maxwell.
What's interesting, when you look at the Canyon Lake's offensive line, they have no space between, they have no gaps is what we call them, between the center all the way out to the tight end. So they really make it hard for the defense to get penetration.
Pickup of 2 for St. John. It's 2nd down and 8 for Canyon Lake. This time coming near side. Once again, St. John as he's met there and wrapped up. Small gain that time, but should bring up a 3rd and call it about 5 for Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage is their own 40-yard line.
Yeah. Again, the defense is doing nothing but putting like 7 to 8 in the box, Roland, to try to do something to slow down this rushing attack. But so far, they've been pretty successful.
3rd down, the handoff to the first man through.
That's going to be close.
And we'll check that young man's number as people pile off there. Yeah, then once again, that is St. John, and it is going to be close. And they're calling it, they're saying this is a 4th and 1 for Canyon Lake.
That's barely one.
Yeah.
It's a short one.
Bringing in the play from the sideline, that is Braden Duke for Canyon Lake. Here's the snap, the give.
You got it.
Once again, coming near side, I believe is St. John as they.
Yep.
Yes, indeed, as they get off the bottom of that pile, and it's a 1st down for the Canyon Lake Hawks. Line of scrimmage is their own 46-yard line as time continues to wind down here in the first quarter.
Well, again, the Canyon Lake Hawks, they do huddle after every play, but they huddle and they break real quick. They're only about 5 yards from the ball, so to get to the line of scrimmage real quick and to get the play off.
Here's the snap. Fulton the pitch this time. To the deep man, that is Jacob Ruff, who takes the ball out near midfield before he'll be met there. And in on the stop that time for Pleasanton, that is Zachariah Ranselben. Chris Palmer also in on the stop for Pleasanton. Nice pickup of 4 that time. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Hawks. As bringing in the play from the sideline, that is Chance Martelli. Here's the snap, give going straight ahead. And not much room there that time, as carrying the football was Tristan Chacon. Eagles were keying on him. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
Well, that counter dive back to the weak side of the formation was met by number 77, Rorojo, and number 58, Hunter Normand. They did a nice job of stuffing the line of scrimmage for no gain. Now it ends up being 3rd and long 6. It's a tough call now for the Hawks.
3rd and 6. Here's the snap. This time the quarterback keeps the football. That is Fulton, who'll be wrapped up and dropped for a couple of yards lost that time. He's over to make the stop. That was Tim Sanchez.
Roland, I really think that was a busted play. It looked like Fulton was trying to get the handoff to Joseph Ruiz coming back on that counter, and he just missed the handoff. And so Fulton had to basically just eat the football during that time and got sacked for a loss.
And that's the end of the first quarter with our score, Pleasanton 7, Canyon Lake nothing. We'll be back with more of Hawks playoff football in just a moment. You're listening to the Hawks Network.
Texas Flip and Move is ready to roll.
I could not be more excited about this.
Who'll be the Lone Star State's big flipper? Each team buys low and sells high.
The bigger the risk,
the bigger the reward. Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9, only on DIY Network.
Watch DIY, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 126. GVTC, just plain smart.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
And the Hawks punt the football on a 4th down, this time on the return. For Pleasanton, that is Isaac Mendiola, the talented wide receiver and
we got a flag
defensive
down
back. Yes, penalty marker on the field. Let's get this checked out.
Well, if this is against Pleasanton, this would put them deep in the hole, so to speak, which would be an advantage for Canyon Lake. Yep.
And that is the
penalty for the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down, Pleasanton.
That is the call. That's going to pin them back quite a bit of real estate on that illegal block penalty. Just underway here in the second quarter. The Eagles out to a 7-0 lead on a 4-yard Johnny Zamora touchdown run at the 3:49 mark of the first quarter.
We'll see what kind of adjustments defensively that the Canyon Lake coaches came up with for his defensive unit, because somehow they're going to have to slow down Zamora in his passing attack. He was pretty effective that first quarter.
2 receivers to the far side, or correction, check that. There's trips to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. Zamora barking out signals, lone back in the backfield with the Pleasanton quarterback. This time, pass to the near side, complete was wide receiver Jordan Bosques. It's met and wrapped up there. Defensively, that is Lester Boehm on the stop for Canyon Lake.
Yeah, that time Boehm, he had his rear end basically in the inside of the field, which means he's man on the weak side, And that's where Zamora knows he needs to go to that receiver. It's an easy passing catch with a 5-yard out.
Pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2 for the Eagles. Line of scrimmage, their own 25-yard line. Here's the snap once again, near side. This time, pass complete. They'll get the first down. Is making the catch that time Dalton Hobbs before he's met there and drug down.
Well, Neal, the free safety, number 80, was there to make the stop. He was able to slow him down, but not to make the put the receiver down on the field. Would have been short for a first down, but since he missed a tackle, it was enough just for the first down.
Single receiver to the near side, 2 going to the far side on a 1st and 10 for Pleasanton. Here's the snap, quick out once again. This is Mendiola at the 35 before he's drugged down about the 38-yard line. Nice open field tackle that time. Jacob Neal driving him out of bounds.
If it works once, just keep going back to it until he can readjust to it or stop it. Right now, the safeties are so far back and the corners are back, and they're playing that soft zone because they don't want to give up the big play. They want everything to be caught in front of them where they can come up and make a tackle.
From the Pleasanton 39, it's 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Once again, they've got 2 receivers to the near side and 2 to the far side. Again, if it works, keep going with it. This is Mendiola with the flip to the near side, takes the ball across the 50-yard line into Canyon Lake territory. Once again, Boehm on the stop for the Hawks.
Yeah, rolling that time is really 2 receivers on 1 DB because the safety is so far back and the numbers are in favor of the quarterback. And so Zamora sees that and he's going to just have a quick hit out here to number 8, the wide receiver, where he's able to make a first down.
He's got Mendiola and Bosquez to the near side.
Bosquez.
2 receivers to the far side. It's 1st and 10. Here's Zamora. Unloading, he's got a man. Mendiola making the catch inside the 20 at about the 17-yard line is where they're going to mark that.
Yep. Double move. They've been setting that up the last 3 plays, and this time it's just a pump fake, and Mendiola just takes an inside move and cuts back up to this up towards the goal line, and he beats the corner, and it's a nice little fly route, good for another first down. Good looking play.
The Eagles have been moving the football seemingly at will through the air. 1st and 10 Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is the Canyon Lake 17. This time, single receiver to the near side. Got a tight end set up over there. 3 to the far side. Once again, here's the handoff. This time, running through the middle. That's Renner banging out across the 15 down to around the 14-yard line. Getting up off the bottom of that pile. We've called this young man's name quite a bit, Jacob Neal.
Right now it looks like we've got the Eagles are just in a complete offensive rhythm, doing what they want to do, keeping the defense off balance. And now if you're a defensive coordinator for Canyon Lake, you're thinking, okay, what do I need to do? Put pressure on Zamora, or what do I need to do here?
2nd and 7 for the Eagles. Trips to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. He goes far side, and he's got Mendiola across the 10 down to around the 7-yard line. He hauls that in. In on the stop that time, Trenton Lorette for the Hawks.
They're just looking at the numbers rolling to see where they have an advantage off by their formation. If they look like they have an advantage and the defense is off, they're going to go that side. That's all they're doing is just counting numbers.
It's 3rd and 1. Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is the Hawk 8. Here's the handoff straight ahead. They'll have the first down as Renner.
Well, he was met in a hole, though.
Bangs out about the 7. That's right, meeting him head on that time. For Canyon Lake, that was Ross Snowden from his defensive end position, 6'2", 210-pound senior.
Yeah, Snowden's been a man beast out throughout the whole season. With he's got 56 tackles, 20 tackles for a loss, and he leads the team with 6 sacks as well. And right then, he made a nice job of sticking Austin Renner right in these chops at the line of scrimmage.
Well, it appeared he had the first down with his forward progress. Apparently not. I stand corrected. 4th and 1. Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is the Canyon Lake 8.
Timeout.
And a whistle and a timeout on the field. That is Pleasanton's 2nd timeout of the half. We'll step aside with them. 8:02 left to go before halftime. Our score, Pleasanton 7, Canyon Lake nothing.
Get closer to the action like never before with NASCAR Race Hub on FS1. At the track.
Looks like Superman won.
In the shop.
Catching up with Joey Logano.
On the headsets and behind the scenes.
Every night, the place to be.
All season long.
Hear the story from the drivers who lived it.
That's how tough the track was to drive.
And get the ultimate setup from the legends of the sport.
You can't script it. There's certain things out of your control.
NASCAR Race Hub. All season long on FS1.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
With you live at Gustafson Stadium, 8:02 left to go before halftime. It's 4th and 1 for Pleasanton. They're on the Canyon Lake 8-yard line. Send 2 receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. This time the handoff, right side. It's going to be. It looked like it would be close, and there's an Eagle turnover. He's running with the football. That was Chris Palmer from his running back slot. Dropped it. We've got an injured Eagle down on the field.
Well, Chris Palmer is a starting middle linebacker for the Eagles, and this time he got the handoff. It looks like he's a short yardage type of running back, and he was met in a hole there by a couple of the Hawks defenders and must have coughed up the football.
Well, you talk about making adjustments. It appears that the Hawks had done at that time, not only to potentially stop them from a first down, but to get a turnover. And as we were talking about, Hawks doing well in the turnover department.
Yeah, they are. They're plus 15 in the turnover ratio. And you know what? That was a well-needed turnover at this point because it looks like the Eagles were getting ready to knock it in the end zone. They would have been down by 14 points. This could change the whole momentum of the game at this point if now the Hawks are able to answer the call and move down the field and score some points.
And that was the running back / linebacker Chris Palmer for Pleasanton, who was the injured Eagle on the play. Glad to see he's up under his own power, walking off to the sideline. Hawks are going to have the football 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage is their own 8-yard line. And here's the give. This is Chacon. Across the 10, down to around the 11 for a pickup of close to 3. Is in on the stop that time for Pleasanton. That was Tim Sanchez.
Not bad on your first down and pick up 4 yards. You know, it's not sexy and it's not real flashy, but, 4 times 3 is what?
According to my Central Catholic math, that would be 12 maybe.
No, it means first down.
Okay.
Come on now. See, that's what I'm saying. It's 4 downs in a cloud of dust. It's very effective. Sorry, Roland.
Sorry. I'm not going to mention my teacher's name. He'll never forgive me. Here's a pitch to the near side. Running with the football, that is Joseph Ruiz out across the 20 to the 21-yard line before he's met there and dropped. And in on the stop that time for Pleasanton. That was, we'll check that young man, Nick Ramos, from his defensive back position.
Well, that's the first time we've seen an option play by Fulton coming out and giving it to Ruiz on the option play. Very effective. They got to the edge to the corner really quick and was open had some real estate here on the short side of the field for first down.
To the line of scrimmage quickly. 1st and 10, Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage, they're 21. This time, Palmer drops back, unloads, pass incomplete, or Fulton, correction, is his intended receiver that time. I believe that was Tanner Ferris, yes.
Yeah. Well, he was open. He had beat the safety on a post pattern, but Fulton just overthrew him. That would have been a game changer right there if he could have connected for that.
So bring it back to the 21. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Hawks. I like the way they break the huddle and just get to the line of scrimmage almost instantaneously. We've seen a few teams do that through the past now.
We see the spread, no huddle, up-tempo. This is the process of up-tempo with the huddle. Good-looking play there.
This time the handoff straight ahead. Nice run. I believe that is St. John with the carry.
That's just a quick trap play right up the middle. Nice job by the center, Bradley Height, and the right guard, Jacob Foster. Again, full block right up the middle, and it was wide open that time for St. John.
Pickup of 9. It's 3rd and 1 for the Hawks. Line of scrimmage is their own 30. Here's a handoff. Once again, St. John, he should have enough for the first down as he's met there and driven back in on the stop that time for Pleasanton, Jerry Lee Ramirez.
St. John's kind of looking at his leg, kind of not limping off, but he kind of shaking something off as he goes to the sidelines. Again, Fulton has several different running backs he likes to give the football to, so it's not just going to be Chacon or St. John. He's got Ferris, he's got Ruiz, Lorette, Ruff, Jacob Ruff, he's usually in there too. So,
first and 10 Hawks from their own 33-yard line. Here's the give this time, far side Chacon trying to bang out over the 35, and he'll get there, give him the 35 before he's met there and stopped. And in on the stop that time, that was Chris Palmer from his linebacker position.
You know, it's a difficult play if you're on the defensive side when you have pulling guards coming across the formation, when everything looks like it's coming back the other direction. So it's a misdirection, but it's hitting you so hot and so hard and so quick. It's very difficult, like for the linebackers, to be able to pursue.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 this time for Canyon Lake. Quick pass over the middle. This one complete. Out across the 45 and into Pleasanton territory. As coming up with a catch that time, that's J.T. Green.
Good looking play, that little bootleg or a little misdirection and then hitting the J.T. Green out in the flats. He was wide open. Again, nice passing catch for the first down. And again, they're moving the chains, Roland. That's the important thing about this drive.
First and 10, Canyon Lake from their own 45. This time the give straight ahead. Oh, what an opening that time. Busting out, that was Jacob Ruff. Takes it into Pleasanton territory down around their own 42.
Roland, they hit that so quick that the linebacker can't even really read his keys and get up in the hole quick enough, so it's a good-looking play.
Great bang that time by Ruff. We're going to have to check some rushing numbers here in just a bit as they seem to be compiling for Canyon Lake. It's first and 10 once again for the Hawks. This time
procedure.
Movement. And I believe this is going to back it up just a bit.
Ball start on number 74 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Man, those illegal procedures just are momentum killers sometimes, but hopefully the Hawks can pick it back up. First down, they've got 15 for the first down. .68 is now checking in the offensive line, Bradley Height.
First and 15 from the 46-yard line. The give far side, that's Chacon across the 45 to down around the 44-yard line. He's met there, and on the stop that time for Pleasanton was Eric Valdez.
Well, the first defender to get there and kind of disrupt the play was number 34, Chris Palmer, the young man who got injured on that fourth down try or fumble earlier, and he's back in the game now.
Second and 13 for Canyon Lake. Here's the quarterback Fulton dropping back, looking over to the right side. Pass intended for J.T. Green once again, just off his fingertips, and that'll bring up a third down.
I really thought Fulton was trying to hit Madonna out there on the corner route because he was open by 2 or 3 steps from the defender, and plus he's got a foot height over the cornerback. I thought for sure Fulton was trying to hit him, but he was actually trying to hit the drag man, J.T. Green, dragging across the middle. They'll come back to that.
Line of scrimmage is the Pleasanton 44 on this 3rd and 13 for Canyon Lake. 2 receivers to the near side. Here's Fulton rolling, looking right side this time. Pass hauled in. This will be a first down and more. As into the end zone goes the receiver, and we may have an injured Hawk. We'll have to check that out momentarily.
No, I'll tell you what, we've got roughing the passer or targeting on Fulton, the quarterback. So the touchdown will stand, but this will be probably assessed on the kickoff.
Tanner Ferris, by the way, with a catch that time. Took that to the house. With
misdirection. I'm sorry, go ahead, Roland.
No, 3:18. We're an extra point away from knotting this thing at 7.
Yeah. Good looking play. All the flow went to the wide side of the field, and he hit Tanner Ferris in the backside with a quick screen pass, and he had blockers in front of him, and it was all up to him to get into the end zone.
Roughing the passer on the defense, number 82. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards on the kickoff. touchdown, Lake Canyon.
Yeah, I thought it was either going to be roughing the passer or targeting the way he hit him up high after he threw the football.
Oh, many of those targeting penalties we've seen this season, I tell you, they're cracking down on those.
Yeah, good deal, too. I'm glad they are.
Here's Lorette on to try the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. With 3:18 left to go before halftime, we're all even. Our score, Canyon Lake 7, Pleasanton 7. We'll be back with more. This is Hawks Playoff Football right here on the Hawks Network.
Rolls to his right, fires downfield, has McDonough at the 25, far sideline, gets a block, 10, 5, touchdown! Runner tags, throw down a home plate, on line, throw back to third, tag is in time!
And I now have the privilege of presenting a valedictorian award for Canyon Lake High School to Erica Colston.
You're watching Hawks Network!
Back at Gustafson Stadium, 3:18 left to go before halftime, and the Canyon Lake Hawks on the board. A 44-yard touchdown pass from Ben Fulton to Tanner Ferris, who took a screen and did the rest himself, put the ball in the end zone. Extra point good from the right foot of Trent Laurent, and we're all even at 7.
Well, with the assessment of the penalty to roughing the passer on Fulton, he's actually kicking off in the opponent's 45-yard line. So I guess the strategy is to maybe kind of a little pooch kick here and try to pin him in deep in their territory. I imagine the way he's lined up, that's what they're going to do. Maybe an onside
So
kick.
here we go. Here's Laurent to kick
Onside.
this off. You're right, onside kick it is. And fielding it that time, or bringing that in for Pleasanton. That was Hunter Normant. I guess the good hands team up there to receive for the onside kick.
It's going to be one or the other, either pooch or an onside, the way he was lined up. And, not a bad call, too, by Coach Drum just to go ahead and go for it. You're tied up. Your defense seems to have made some adjustments, and let the dice roll. I mean, this is the playoffs, and this is what it's all about.
So the Eagles will have the football, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage is their own 39-yard line. And here's Zamora once again as he's gone all the way thus far the first half from the pistol. Hands off, straight ahead. This is running back Renner, banging out across the 40 near the 42-yard line. Or Sam Shepard makes the stop that time for Canyon Lake.
Sam Shepard's also had a nice, a really good season so far. He's got 8 tackles for the loss, 3 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery already this year.
2 receivers far side, 2 to the near side for Zamora. Across the middle, he's got Mendiola across the 40. Ball's on the ground. And they're saying the ground caused, I guess he was down before he dropped the football.
Or did he have possession? That's what I would be questioning, too, if I was Coach Drum, if he had possession of the football.
Well, they're marking the football now in Canyon Lake territory at about the 48-yard line. So apparently Mendiola did. They're calling it a reception.
Where's our instant replay? Instant replay here. Come on, Roland.
Put the telestrator on to it. Here we go. 1st and 10. Pleasanton from the Hawks' 47-yard line.
Procedure.
And, Parker Reno's pointing something out on that offensive line of Pleasanton.
All right, is that. Ball started on number 51 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And that'll back it up.
Yeah, I think the secondary to back in for the Hawks from Canyon Lake, they're just, they're a little gun shy right now. They don't want to challenge the receivers. They have decent speed, and they're short, and they're very quick getting into their pass routes. But when you sit there in your zones, they're going to pick you apart. And that time it was a nice, clean, quick slant across the middle where it's wide open.
1st and 15 for Pleasanton. Here's a quick out. This is Mendiola across the 45 down to around the 44-yard line before he's met there and dropped. And in on the stop that time for the Hawks is Lee Stafford.
Mendiola's been the workhorse as far as the first half is concerned for Zamora. He's really had his number as far as passing the football here so far the first half.
It's a 2nd and 7 now from the Canyon Lake 44-yard line. 2 receivers either side and a single back in the backfield for quarterback Johnny Zamora. As he takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Mendiola once again on a quick out. Across the 40, down to around the 38-yard line before he's met there. Jacob Neal with the stop for the Hawks.
Yeah, we've seen that formation. We've seen that pass already several times here tonight. And as long as Neal, the safeties, back off like he is, they're going to hit that little slot receiver for a quick pass all night long.
3rd and 1 Eagles from the Hawk 38-yard line. As once again, he's got 3 receivers to the far side and a single receiver to the near side. Zamora barking out signals, takes the snap, handoff straight ahead. This is Renner with a big hole across the 20. Renner across the 10, down inside the 5-yard line goes Austin Renner. And that'll be they're going to mark this actually at the 6 and say that's where he was down. This will be 1st and goal for Pleasanton.
With 43 seconds left in the first half, too, this is what the doctor ordered if you're a Pleasanton fan.
Once again, the handoff Renner as he tries to find something to the outside. Nothing doing there as he's wrapped up. Once again, Neal for Canyon Lake making the stop. And I believe Pleasanton's taking their 3rd and final timeout of the first half. And that's the case. And with 30 seconds left to go before halftime, let's step aside. It's 7-7. Canyon Lake and the Pleasanton Eagles all tied up. This is Hawks Playoff Football on the Hawks Network.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas Produce Department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
30 seconds left in the first half from Gustafson Stadium in San Antonio, Texas. A 4-yard touchdown run by Pleasanton quarterback Johnny Zamora and a 44-yard touchdown pass for Canyon Lake to Tanner Ferris. Has us knotted at 7. Of course, the extra points went along with those. And Pleasanton's knocking on the door once again, 2nd and 5, or 2nd and goal from the Hawk 5-yard line. Here's Zamora, the snap rolling far side being chased. Zamora keeping, and he's going to be stopped down around the 2-yard line.
I don't think Zamora had any plan of throwing that football. He wanted to keep it the whole way.
And it's a 3rd and goal. They're saying no gain on the play. Zamora just spikes it to stop the clock.
11 seconds left. That's enough for 2 plays. Well, 1 play, excuse me. It's 4th down.
It is 4th down, and yeah, I think they're bringing the field goal unit in.
Yeah.
Is this more or less a chip shot for Victor Gutierrez, their field goal kicker? This will be, let's see, spotted at the an 18-yard field goal, and it's up, and it is good. With 8 ticks of the clock left to go before halftime, our new score: Pleasanton 10, Canyon Lake 7. This is Hawks Playoff Football here on the Hawks Network.
Tom Brady, that's a mic drop.
This is football, and this is how it is. Let's just get right to it.
Start your game day with Game Day Morning, football's first pregame show every Sunday.
Watch NFL Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 579. GVTC, just plain smart.
Back with you live at Gustafson Stadium. 8 seconds left to go here in the first half. We've just seen Victor Gutierrez, an 18-yard field goal to give Pleasanton the lead once again, 10-7, on top of the Canyon Lake Hawks. And is that some sort of a moral victory to kind of keep them out of the end zone that time?
I think so. The way they were moving the football, I think for the defense for Canyon Lake, holding them to 3 points, that's pretty good going into the halftime that way. Unfortunately now, Pleasanton will get the opening kickoff the third quarter. So that's momentum for them going into halftime ahead 10-7 as well. So I don't know if you call it a moral victory or just, hey, whew, at least they didn't score a touchdown kind of attitude.
Grayson Lee, Trent Lorette, Joseph Ruiz back to receive the kickoff from the Pleasanton Eagles, and this one is fielded on the far side of the field by Ruiz, who gets out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And there's a tick of the clock left, 1 second.
Joseph Ruiz on kickoff return. Stopped by Fisher.
And I don't know, perhaps an E or perhaps throw the ball down the field.
I think they'll just take a knee. If they had decent field position for some reason on on the kickoff return or whatever, then they probably would try something down the field. But
just take a knee, go back in, get some.
Now watch, I'll be proven wrong. You know that. So I said it's just the opposite, right?
Well, there you go. Back to the line of scrimmage. Here we go. A second left for the Hawks. Here's the snap.
They tried to Bomarewski.
They hand off going straight ahead to Chacon, who gets out across the 30 to the 31 before he's met there by Chris Palmer, and that'll do it for the first half. Our score at halftime, the Pleasanton Eagles 10, the Canyon Lake Hawks 7. We'll be back with halftime festivities and more in just a moment. You're listening, or you're enjoying Hawks football, we can say. Hawks Playoff Football 2017 on the Hawks Network.
Hey guys, Tyler Florence here. This season, the Great Food Truck Race is headed way down south. 7 teams navigating culinary roadblocks in a race to victory. Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Are you ready? I don't think they're ready.
Wow.
All new, Sunday night at 9, the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
In college football, you don't have the luxury of looking ahead. Every Saturday's a different way of destroying your season. They'll make the ground shake. They'll make your eyes burn. They'll show you hate and disrespect unlike anything you've ever seen. Don't think about January when there's a Wolverine coming for your face in September. The biggest game, the only game, is the one you're playing.
How can 11 girls go missing? No suspect was identified. There's an inmate. He has confessed to murdering 11 girls, but he's retracted his confessions. Who is this guy?
Ed, what happened?
Watch A&E, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 558. GVTC, just plain smart.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
It's halftime at Gustafson Stadium. Hawk Playoff Football 2017 as Canyon Lake trails the Pleasanton Eagles 10-7 at half, and right now, halftime treat for us as we're going to enjoy the music and the stylization of the Canyon Lake Hawk Band.
The Emerald Sands are led out to the field by Social Officer Kylie Edmondson, Vice President Marion Loyola, President Maggie Lesturgis, Lieutenant Audrey Montgomery, Lieutenant Laurel Wood, Co-Captain Ryan White, and Captain Sophia Mink. Tonight they'll be forming a high kick routine to My Sharona.
Canyon Lake Hawks Band is led on the field by senior drum majors Brianna Adams and Jolie Timmy. Color guard captains are Desiree Merton and Dallas Schreiber. Just a few weeks ago, the Hawk Band received their 10th straight UIL First Division Superior rating at Marching Contest. Tonight's show will begin with a flag feature to The Lion Sleeps Tonight. And then our wonderful percussion section will be drumming up the cadence as the band moves into our CL set to play Land of a Thousand Dances. We hope you enjoy the show and the music. Thank you all for your kind attention, and now the band will finish our portion of the halftime with the Canyon Lake fight song, We Are the Hawks. Good luck tonight, and drive home safe.
Rolls to his right, fires downfield, has McDonough at the 25, far sideline, gets a block, 10, 5, touchdown! Runner tags, throw down to home plate, on line, throw back to third, tag is in time!
And I now have the privilege of presenting a valedictorian award for Canyon Lake High School to Erica Colston.
You're watching Hawks Network!
When is shoe shopping more than just shoe shopping? When it's shoe shopping for a cure. Shop QVC presents Fanny Shoes on Sale. You'll find beautiful shoes by top designers, all at 50% off. And every purchase benefits breast cancer research and education. Great shoes for a great cause. What's not to love? Tune in Thursday, October 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Shop all October long at QVC.com.
The University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to the Army National Guard, Baden, Balfour, Baylor Scott and White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Tick-A-Tap Ticketing. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community, and thank you for listening to this state playoff contest. Enjoy the game.
Back to halftime here at Gustafson Stadium in San Antonio with our score, the Pleasanton Eagles on top of the Canyon Lake Hawks by a score of 10-7. Along with Jeff Gandy, I am Roland J. Reeves. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We know the winner of tonight's game is going to take on the La Vega Pirates, who earlier today in San Antonio defeated King by a final score of 54-7. So either the Hawks or the Eagles going to have their work cut out for them next week. It only gets tougher from here, Jeff.
Absolutely. Well, that's what the playoffs are all about. I mean, they're all good teams, and it's going to be tough. And kind of like what we talked about in our pregame is that's what makes it all fun. But then during the course of the game, that's what turnovers mean. When you turn the ball over against a good team, they're going to capitalize on it. And that's what we've kind of had the first half of tonight's game so far. And so, it's not going to get easier. But I'll tell you what, when the stakes are high, it's a whole lot more fun to play.
Oh, yeah, momentum building, I think, as you were mentioning, on those turnovers. I mean, we saw both teams capitalize from turnovers, as you mentioned. Just a recap, in the first quarter, Johnny Zamora of Pleasanton, a 4-yard touchdown drive to get the Eagles on the board. The extra point was good. That at the 3:49 mark in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it was Tanner Ferris hauling in a 44-yard touchdown pass from the right arm of Ben Fulton. Took it into the end zone with 3:18 left to go in the quarter. Tied the game at 7. Then the Pleasanton Eagles would answer on an 18-yard field goal from Victor Gutierrez with 8 seconds left in the half to give them a 10-7 lead, and that's where we sit right now. Jeff, your takeaways from that first half?
Well, I guess no surprise. Honestly, what we thought that the Pleasanton Eagles would do, they'd move the football through the air, and that's exactly what Zamora has done. And his number one hookup would be Mendolia. Both of them have basically been on tune all first half. Renner's had a nice first half as well. Whenever there is an opportunity to tote the football for the Eagles, it's been Renner. And so offensively, it's pretty much what we predicted what they were going to do. When you look at the other side of the field for Canyon Lake, the Hawks do what they do. They're going to run the football. And it's funny how they scored, though, on a counter, kind of a screen pass out there in the flat, and it was beautifully designed, and that's how they scored. But, no, I'm not surprised. I think both teams are going to do what they do very well. I think there needs to be some adjustments by Canyon Lake defensively, because all that Zamora is doing is looking at the numbers and see where the mismatch is, and that's where he's delivering the tote. I mean, that's where he's delivering the football. It's fairly simple, but it's not simple to do. I guess I should say. When you look at the other side of the field, Canyon Lake, they're going to run the football. I think right now what you're seeing them be successful as is that quick trap right up the middle with that fullback. That fullback is lined up right behind the quarterback. And, I mean, it is so quick. The linebackers and defensive linemen have no way of reacting. That's been real effective for them. So, that's kind of my analysis at this point. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of adjustment. I just think the coaches need to say, guys, it's up to you to do it.
Okay, well, you being on the defensive side of the football, as you have been for many, many years, what would you tell a defense to be able to at least contain the passing attack of Pleasanton?
A couple things. Obviously, the coaches are going to make a couple adjustments with the alignment whenever they give the double slots or in that trips. And then instead of going man backside, maybe we need to have some help. But I think moving those safeties up closer to the outside where the receivers are and rely on your linebackers and defensive linemen, you've got to shut down the running play to Renner. That's maybe what I would suggest. But honestly, Roland, it's up to the kids. They got to just man up. They got to bow up a little bit harder, and they need to dig a little extra turf and just get it done. And that means play physical and be a little more physical up front. I've seen Canyon Lake play a little more physical earlier in the season. Tonight they're catching and waiting and guessing and reacting because it's more of a pass attack. Well, you got to get after it, and that means getting after Rivera. And that means if you got to send a linebacker, whatever you need to do, Zamora, you got to get in the backfield, disrupt him some, because when they did get in the backfield, Zamora didn't deliver a very good pass.
Because a lot of times I'm noticing in athletics in general, I think that it's just a case of getting in your rhythm, finding the beat, finding the beat to the game, just like it is in music in a certain extent. And that's what they do. If they can take the quarterback out of his rhythm,
right?
Defensively, they're going to have a better chance of shutting down that offense a little bit more.
Also thinking, you're spot on, I believe, with your analysis as well. I think also another turnover. You need a turnover a half when you get in the playoffs, really. When you're playing against a good team, you need another turnover. And that means as soon as that receiver catches football, start stripping at it. And if that means Renner's running with the football, strip at it and try to get a sack on the quarterback. And when you do, you're coming back with that tomahawk chop down on the arm and trying to get the ball out. You got to do something different than what you did the first half. We'll probably see a little something different wrinkle maybe by the defense of the Hawks second half.
All right, certainly look forward to what they bring out of the locker room and into the second half of play. A little bit earlier today, we know on one of our brother stations, I guess as we mentioned, our brother networks, the Rangers Network, it was a rough day for Smithson Valley as they fell to an always tough Austin Westlake squad.
Yeah, Austin Westlake, boy, they're talented, and like they always are every single year. And Todd Dodge and his coaching staff are phenomenal. They're good coaches. And, Smithson Valley was playing against the number 3 team in the state in 6A. And I tell you what, they're every bit ranked number 3. They're strong in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams. And even though the Rangers had their chances of really getting into the ball game and maybe even doing something with it, a couple of questionable calls here and there might have turned the whole outlook of the game around. But you know what? They played really well against number 3, Westlake. The score was 51 to 31, but that's a 20-point difference. But it really that's not what the game looked like. It was much closer than that.
Now the final score wasn't indicative of how the game went. But as always, you got to just tip your cap to Coach Kill, and it's another great season out at Smithson Valley, and look forward to next year.
And again, Smithson Valley, they just reload, Roland. They've got talent, and it's a system. They usually have a couple kids that are exceptional in their athleticism, but what they build their program on and their success decade after decade is getting that kid who just really wants to be a Smithson Valley Ranger football player. And that wearing that helmet means more than anything. And those are the kind of kids with a heart that we see every year going through this system, and that's why they're so successful. And Hill does a nice job, and he and his coaching staff, getting the kids in the best possible position to make a difference and to make plays, and that's all they do.
And they do it very well, as we mentioned,
well.
year in and year out. Again, a tip of the cap. Great job this season, and we'll look forward to what 2018 has to bring there. But as for here, we're still alive. We still got another half of football to go. Onward and upward as the Hawks trail the Eagles 10-7 at halftime. Could have been worse. Could have gone into this down a touchdown. But the Eagle defense, the Hawk defense held the Eagles there to a field goal in the waning seconds of the first half.
And those are the things you have to do in the playoffs, Roland. If you give yourself a chance, then instead of being 7 down, only 3 down, and that makes a huge difference maybe in the outcome later in the fourth quarter. So we'll see how this plays out, and hopefully for Lake County or the Hawks, it'll come out on their end, but we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. 10-7 once again, Pleasanton on top of Canyon Lake, and we're going to take a break and come back for second half activity here in just a moment as we're enjoying halftime here at Gustafson Stadium. This is Canyon Lake Hawk football. You're enjoying it on the Hawks Network.
Make memories of a lifetime this Thanksgiving weekend at Bernie's 18th Annual Dickens on Main celebration, Friday and Saturday, November 24th and 25th. Stroll Main Street Snowy Wonderland as you enjoy live ice sculpting, a 60-foot snow slide, photos with Santa, and of course holiday shopping along Bernie's Hill Country Mile. Dickens on Main features fun children's activities, live performances like Bah Humbug, a one-man Christmas carol, horse-drawn carriages, food merchants, and amazing concerts each night. And admission is free. Visit dickensonmain.com for all the details.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
When you're ready for a break, hurry in to Chicken Express. Let us do all the cooking for you. We always offer high-quality, affordable meals that the entire family will enjoy. Our chicken is never frozen and it's hand-battered fresh so you can really taste the difference. You can expect fast and friendly service at Chicken Express, whether you dine in, drive through, or drive up. Hurry in and hurry back to Chicken Express.
This is the story of 9 hopeful bakers and 3 wise judges.
This is a holiday baking beauty.
We have been blessed with a holiday miracle. I nailed it.
Who will become the holiday baking champion?
All new Holiday Baking Championship, Monday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart.
We help mutants endangered. You're with us now.
If you missed an episode of The Gifted, watch anytime. It's the show critics are calling chills-inducing. Promises to be one of the best Marvel TV series.
These people need help.
The Gifted is all new Monday on Fox, or watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Hey guys, Tyler Florence here. This season, the Great Food Truck Race is headed way down south. 7 teams navigating culinary roadblocks in a race to victory. Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Are you ready? I don't think they're ready.
Wow. All new, Sunday night at 9. The Great Food Truck Race on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
The University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to the Army National Guard, Baden, Balfour, Baylor Scott and White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Tick-A-Tap Ticketing. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community, and thank you for listening to this state playoff contest. Enjoy the game.
It's flea market madness.
Wow, that's pretty neat. 2 teams, here's your $500, here's your time clock.
Let's go shop, go!
Go find great things that you can reinvent.
I think you have a great idea.
Please work. You never know what you're gonna find.
Do you need a hand?
Flea Market Flip, Sunday night at 8, only on GAC.
Watch Great American Country. GVTC Digital Cable Channel 162. GVTC. Just plain smart.
In college football, you don't have the luxury of looking ahead. Every Saturday's a different way of destroying your season. They'll make the ground shake. They'll make your eyes burn. They'll show you hate and disrespect unlike anything you've ever seen. Don't think about January when there's a Wolverine coming for your face in September. The biggest game, the only game, is the one you're playing.
Get closer to the action like never before with NASCAR Race Hub on FS1. At the track.
Looks like Superman won.
In the shop.
Catching up with Joey Logano.
On the headsets and behind the scenes.
Every night, the place to be.
All season long.
Hear the story from the drivers who lived it.
That's how tough the track was to drive.
And get the ultimate setup from the legends of the sport.
You can't script it. There's certain things out of your control.
NASCAR Race Hub. All season long on FS1.
Rolls to his right, fires downfield, has McDonough at the 25, far sideline, gets a block, 10, 5, touchdown! Runner tags, throw down to home plate, on line, throw back to third, tag is in time!
And I now have the privilege of presenting a valedictorian award for Canyon Lake High School to Erica Colston.
You're watching Hawks Network!
Back with you now, just moments away from starting the second half. 10-7 our score, Pleasanton on top of Canyon Lake. Gustafson Stadium is the site of our contest this evening, just around 60 degrees here as we start the second half. Jeff Gandy, yours truly, Roland J. Reese, going to bring you the action as the Pleasanton Eagles now come through their inflatable onto the field.
That's an intimidating looking eagle, too.
Look
at that thing.
Both Birds of Prey inflatables. Now, what are the chances you would see that on a football field?
Yeah.
Amazing. Really enjoying it. The Pleasanton Eagle mascot out now. Pleasanton will have the football first to start the second half. They'll, of course, Canyon Lake had the football to start the ball game. And we'll see what adjustments are made. By the way, this reminder, least we forget, don't miss the UIL Football State Championship on December 20th through the 23rd. Be taking place at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Tickets available to purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. Just reminder in there.
Thank you for doing that. I'm just looking at the inflatables, and you know what? I'm glad that we had this capability for these kids to really enjoy the experience. And unbelievable levels that we didn't have when you and I were in high school. I mean, we had a paper banner to break through.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Seriously,
that's right.
It was pretty raw and rugged back in the 70s playing here in San Antonio. But you know what? It meant just as much to them as it did for us. And you know what? It's all about the experience in these kids, and I'm glad they have it.
We loved it. Grab a piece of that banner and take it with you as you ran through it. Yeah, that was
exactly.
That was a lot of fun. Absolutely. So we're moments away from getting started here. Once again, the winner of this contest goes on to take on the La Vega Pirates, who defeated the King Brahmas a little bit earlier today, 54-7, right here at Hero Stadium in San Antonio. And I'm sure the location for that will be made available as soon as we'll get that information to you as soon as it's available to us, I guess we should say. Anyway, kicking off second half, Trent Laurent kicking off for Canyon Lake.
And it sure looks like he's lined up as an onside kick again. We'll see what they do.
Here we go. Mendiola kick back deep to receive this, and he will pick it up and field it at the 25-yard line. Tries to come to the outside, crosses the 25 down to around the 27-yard line. Good pursuit that time on special teams, making the stop Nick Rivera for Canyon Lake.
Well, decent field position now for the Hawks starting the second half. First possession on the offense. We'll see what they can do. I imagine they're not going to do a whole lot different than what they did the first half because they were pretty successful moving the football through the air. And we'll see what kind of adjustments maybe the Hawks came up on the defensive side.
Right, certainly look forward to that. It is 1st and 10 for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is the Eagle 27-yard line. 2 receivers either side for quarterback Johnny Zamora. Lone Mack in the backfield with him. He takes a snap, quick out once again to the far side. And coming up with the reception that time and picking up positive yardage. I believe that is Gabriel Murillo from his slot position.
Yep.
Pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Line of scrimmage is the 34-yard line of Pleasanton.
Going from double slots back to double slot formation and just reading the defense, see how they shift to the formation, and that's what he's going to do.
2nd and 3. Zamora takes the snap, hands off straight ahead. This is Renner banging out across the 40. He'll have an Eagle first down and a little bit more. He's in on the stop that time. Jacob Neal for Canyon Lake. Move the chains. They're going to spot this at the about the 41-yard line, I believe, or the 40-yard line. Correction. It's 1st and 10. Pleasanton at that point with trips to the near side and a single receiver to the far side for quarterback Johnny Zamora. Once again barking out signals. He takes the snap, handoff once again straight up the middle is Renner, who gets a couple of tough yards before he'll be met there and dropped. And then on the stop that time, I believe that was Jacob Foster for Canyon Lake.
Not bad penetration that time by C.J. Parrish, the defensive tackle number 70. Kind of made that time Renner had to skip in the backfield a little bit, and it slowed down the momentum, and that way the linebacker was able to get up and make the tackle for no gain.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for Pleasanton. Single receiver far side, 2 to the near side. Once again, a quick out. This one intended for Mendiola. Somebody got a big paw on that coming through and putting a little pressure on Zamora that time, and I believe that was C.J. Parrish.
There you go. Do whatever you can to disrupt the rhythm and disrupt the passing lane for Zamora will be the key to this defense, slowing down this high, potent Eagle offense.
Big down now, 3rd and 8 for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is their own 42-yard line. Be a big opportune time for a defensive stop for the Hawks. 2 receivers near side and 2 to the far side. Once again, Zamora barking out signals, looking downfield, feeling pressure. This time unloads far side. Has the wide receiver, or his slot back that time. Gabriel Murillo hauls that in for another reception and another Pleasanton Eagle first down.
I'll tell you, the Hawks came with a blitz, and you got to give credit to the offensive line now for the Eagles. They did a nice job of giving Zamora plenty of time to wait for the open receiver, which was Murillo, to break out in the open for a first down.
Once again, 2 receivers either side for Zamora. 1st and 10, line of scrimmage. This time the Canyon Lake 48-yard line. Quick out once again. This one intended for Mendiola, and it's incomplete, as you might have heard footsteps coming that time from Lester Bame.
Well, that play was disrupted by Joseph Crisp, the number 50, the defensive end, who really was in Zamora's face where he couldn't see the receiver, and so he threw around the body of Crisp, and it was a bad throw. So those are the things that we're talking about opening the second half, things doing differently to disrupt the rhythm of the play.
Right, and that's the second time we've seen that this half happening to Zamora in the Pleasanton offense. Second and I'm going to call it about 17 after the loss there. Here's the snap. Handoff straight ahead. Nothing doing there for Renner. Coming over to make the stop. Filling that hole quickly for Canyon Lake.
That's Rosas, number 9, the defensive end.
That's it. A little help from Joseph Crisp as well. That'll bring up a 3rd and 18 for Pleasanton. Big defensive stand this time for Canyon Lake. Let's see if they can hold. Pleasanton this time sends 2 receivers to either side for the quarterback Zamora, once again barking out signals. Here's the snap. Drop back. Zamora's going to fall. Good defensive pressure once again. Joseph Crisp coming up to make the stop.
That's what we're talking about. You got to put pressure in the backfield for Zamora to disrupt his timing. That time, Grayson Lee came off the edge. His linebacker came up on the line of scrimmage and then blitzed. He had a free rein right to the Zamora, the quarterback, and Zamora just basically got sacked. And so, again, 4th down, defense rising to the occasion, holding this first possession for the Eagles to 4 and out.
Dalton Hobbs on to punt the football away. He gets his right foot into this. And it'll be fielded at the 20-yard line, across the 25, down to around the 28. Goes Trenton Lorette. And that's where the Hawks will take over 1st and 10.
You know, I don't think you could have jumped, for Coach drum up a better recipe for the first series of the 3rd quarter is to have your defense stop the offense, and you got to get your offense back in the field.
I see what you did there, Jeff Candy. That was good.
I'm trying to follow your lead here on this now. That's all I'm trying to do.
It'll be 1st and 10, Canyon Lake. Spotting this actually at the 30-yard line. Single receiver to the far side. And the handoff straight up the middle, that is St. John actually going across his right guard that time for a gain of, about 4 before he's met there and dropped. Micah St. John, good night running the football.
Well, again, we see St. John, we see Ferris, we see Chacon. They're all going to tote the football a little bit here tonight. And they just rotate those backs in and out.
10 yards to go at the Hawks 33.
And it's 2nd and 7 after a gain of 3 that time for St. John. Here's the snap, here's the give, straight up the middle, a couple of tough yards before the Hawk running back is met there and dropped. I believe that was that time once again St. John with the football. For he's met, and then on the stop, Cleveland Maxwell for Pleasanton.
I thought he did a little bit better on his forward progress, but the referee now has it down on the 36-yard line. Good hard 4 yards to the 1st down. Little play action pass may be pretty good right at this point.
McDonough flanked out to the right. 3rd and 4. Once again, the handoff this time across the right side as goes the running back Jacob Ruff, and I believe he does have enough for a first.
Well, they marked it short.
Wow.
I thought he hit the line.
I did as well. What do we know, though? I guess up here in the booth. So it's 4th and apparently a sneeze for Canyon Lake to get that 1st down as they break huddle, come to the line of scrimmage quickly. Here's the snap straight up the middle, this time no doubt. As is being indicated by quarterback Ben Fulton, yes, it is a 1st down. On the carry that time is Chacon. Tristan Chacon with the 1st down carry for Canyon Lake.
Well, again, this is the type of ingredients of an offense that they love to do here at Canyon Lake, and that is not only remove the football but take time off the clock.
Handoff this time coming to the near side, crossing the 50 and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line goes Tanner Ferris, who carried the football for Canyon Lake.
Good call. You've been going up the middle the last 3 or 4 plays, hitting him right up the gut, and now you hit him on the outside perimeter with Ferris. He had a nice edge, a couple of good blocks on the edge, and he was able to make up enough for a 1st down. Good-looking play.
Line of scrimmage now, the Pleasanton 46-yard line. It's 1st and 10, Hawks under center. Once again, the handoff coming right side. Nice opening that time as crossing the 40 down to the 30, caught at about the 38-yard line, goes Joseph Ruiz.
That time, Chris Palmer, the middle linebacker, and Juan Ramirez, the outside linebacker, totally went with the misdirection. And that way, when Ruiz came back with the football, it was just no one was there. So it was a good-looking play for 8 yards.
Give Ruiz a pickup of 8 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 2, Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage now, the Pleasanton 38-yard line as they break huddle once again. The snap, the give, far side. They're finding something on the right side of the line that time, as carrying the football was Jacob Ruff as he squirts through down to near the 30-yard line for another Hawk first down.
Coach Drum, he loves this style of offense right here. Just keep pounding and pounding and physically getting after that defense for the Eagles. And this is exactly what they do and why they're so successful and how they do it. They're not going to deviate too far from it, but they're going to keep it going.
1st and 10, Canyon Lake. Once again, the handoff this time. It's St. John as he crosses the 30 down to around the 25. He may be stopped just shy of the 25-yard line. It seems like they're finding something between Height and the right guard, Jacob Foster.
Well, they're finding where they can not get behind the chains like they were in the first half. Now it's 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 to say. Well, it's not exactly head to change, but I tell you what, there's more you can do with that down and distance than you can when it's long distance.
On a 2nd and 6, here's Fulton, the snap.
There it is.
This time straight ahead. Nice run into the end zone. Canyon Lake touchdown. And I believe that is Ruff carrying the football.
You are correct. That's that quick trap play right up the middle, this time with Jacob Ruff in the fullback position. And I tell you, it's been working all during the first half, and they kind of set that play up too, Roland, in the sense of they hit the perimeter and they've been doing the misdirection off the tackle. Then they hit you right up the gut with that quick trap play to the fullback. This time it was Jacob Ruff.
So the Hawks take the lead for the first time in tonight's contest on that Jacob Ruff touchdown run. The extra point is good. 5:13 left to go in the third quarter. Our score now, Canyon Lake on top of Pleasanton, 14-10. Hang on, the fun's just getting started. You're enjoying Hawks playoff football here on the Hawks Network.
In college football, you don't have the luxury of looking ahead. Every Saturday's a different way of destroying your season. They'll make the ground shake. They'll make your eyes burn. They'll show you hate and disrespect unlike anything you've ever seen. Don't think about January when there's a Wolverine coming for your face in September. The biggest game, the only game, is the one you're playing.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
5:13 left to go, third quarter. We're back with you live here at Gustafson Stadium following a 27-yard touchdown run by Canyon Lake's Jacob Ruff to put the Hawks up by a score of 14-10. As in on the ensuing kickoff, returning it for Pleasanton was Daniel Valadez, who gets the ball down across the 30 to near the 35-yard line, which is where the Eagles will take over, 1st and 10. And how huge that last 2 series there, Jeff.
It's huge. Your defense steps up to the plate and really halts by having some two sacks on Zamora, excuse me, and it forced the Eagles to punt the football, and then the Hawks get it offensively and really start getting into a rhythm of how they want to play Hawk football and go in and score. So that's a good momentum changer here.
Eagles have the football, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage is their own 33-yard line. Trips to the near side, single receiver far side for quarterback Johnny Zamora. Taking the snap, handing off straight up the middle goes the running back, Austin Renner. Bangs down near the 40-yard line, stopped just shy. Is coming over to make the stop that time was Dylan Shepard.
Well, now, if you're Coach Liska for for the Eagles, you got to be thinking second and short or second and medium range right here. There's a lot you can do with your style of offense. And so look for them maybe to go for it here. I'm thinking to try to change the momentum a little bit.
It is 2nd and 5 from the 38-yard line. Zamora barking out signals, hands off this time. Nice hole on the left side of the field goes the running back.
Chris Palmer.
Who is Chris Palmer, by the way, who checked in for Renner.
Chris Palmer, the last time he touched the football, he coughed it up with a turnover. This time he did a nice job getting 6 yards for the first down.
So Palmer does get the first down for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage will be their own 49-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side, a single receiver to the far side. Quarterback Johnny Zamora taking the snap. It's Palmer once again, this time trying to bang up the middle. He crosses midfield and into Canyon Lake territory. Coming over to make the stop that time for the Hawks, C.J. Parrish.
Yeah, it sure looked like from my angle, looked like there was a slant to the strong side of the formation at times. So the whole defensive line, Snowden, Shepard, Parrish, and Rosas slanted to their left, which is a strong side, right into the flow where Palmer was running the football. So it was a very short gain.
Palmer remains in the ball game. I don't know if Austin Renner is injured, but he did replace him 3 downs ago. It's 2nd and 8 from the Hawk 49 for Johnny Zamora and the Eagles. Zamora drops back, trying to find time, now feeling pressure, runs out of the pocket. He'll be knocked out at about the 45, call it the 43-yard line. As that time coming over to make the stop for Canyon Lake, that was Ross Snowden.
Well, again, you had Grayson Lee line up from his linebacker position, and he went to the outside and put pressure on Zamora, which flushed him out. And he had to only thing that Zamora could do is just basically bail out of the pocket and try to pick up anything he could on the outside.
It's 3rd and 1, Pleasanton. They're at the Canyon Lake 42-yard line. Zamora with 2 receivers either side. This time the handoff, it looks like he's Renner's back in the game. However, Zamora decided to keep it and go straight ahead himself. He's going to be awful close to the first down. I believe, by the mark, he's got it at the 40-yard line.
Well, I really thought that number 90, Richard Rosas, the defensive end, had an inside move. It looked like he went right by Zamora, who had the football. Would have been a tackle in the backfield and just missed him.
Pleasanton kind of surprising us offensively now as they've been running the football, seemed like more than passing thus far on this drive, maybe trying to catch the Hawks defense off guard. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Zamora once again with signals. He decides to continue running. It's Renner across the 35 down to near the 30-yard line. He's going to be awful close to another first down. It's coming over to make the stop, Jacob Neal.
This is not what I expected they would do.
Absolutely. You start keying on the pass, and they're going to get you with a run.
Yep.
And penalty marker on the field, is that correct? I believe
holding.
So.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, that'll negate that Austin Renner run that time. 96 ticks of the clock left in the 3rd quarter. The Canyon Lake Hawks, by virtue of a 27-yard touchdown run by Jacob Ruff, take a 14-10 lead over Pleasanton. Pleasanton took a 10-7 lead into the halftime locker room. Eagles have the ball now at midfield. It'll be 1st and 20 from that point. 3 receivers to the near side and a single receiver to the far side for Zamora. Takes the snap this time, continues with the run, hands it to Renner. Straight ahead across midfield into Canyon Lake territory at about the 48.
Well, it looks like Coach Drum is substituting a couple of the defensive linemen to get some fresh legs in there. I think that's a good move. 2nd and long still that time. Richard Rosas did a nice job again getting in on that tackle.
Shepard and Parrish out of the game for the Hawk defense. Gain of 2, 2nd and 18 for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage, the Hawk 48 with 3 receivers near side, single receiver to the far side. Here's play action, now unloading. Pass almost picked off by Bain as Zamora was looking for Jordan Bosquez. But Bain came over just in the nick of time, almost picked that one off for the Hawks.
Boy, he baited it just right and was just waiting for Zamora to deliver the pass and almost had the INT. That would have been a huge game breaker too. Just couldn't get both hands on the football, but it was enough to break up the pass.
So it's 3rd and 18 from the Canyon Lake 48-yard line. This time 2 receivers either side for Johnny Zamora. Here's the snap. Zamora dropping back, feeling pressure. Zamora goes down. Big defensive stop that time. In on the stop, Michael Harwell for Canyon Lake.
That's that perimeter, that outside blitz. And again, bringing the linebackers from the weak side outside and putting pressure on Zamora. And again, sack and driving the offense backwards instead of forwards. And now it looks like the Hawks may get some decent field position out of it too after the punt.
Well, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are out of time here in the 3rd quarter. We put the final quarter up on the board, and we play one more quarter here at Gustafson Stadium. Our score, Canyon Lake 14, Pleasanton 10. As we head to the 4th quarter, you're enjoying Hawks playoff football on the Hawks Network.
Make memories of a lifetime this Thanksgiving weekend at Bernie's 18th Annual Dickens on Main celebration, Friday and Saturday, November 24th and 25th. Stroll Main Street Snowy Wonderland as you enjoy live ice sculpting, a 60-foot snow slide, photos with Santa, and of course holiday shopping along Bernie's Hill Country Mile. Dickens on Main features fun children's activities, live performances like Bah Humbug, a one-man Christmas carol, horse-drawn carriages, food merchants, and amazing concerts each night. And admission is free. Visit dickensonmain.com for all the details.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
To start the 4th quarter, Dalton Hobbs punts this away to Canyon Lake. This will take a eagle roll, and it'll be down somewhere down inside the, I believe, the 5-yard line. They're marking it at the 4. You know, Jeff, I think what we saw there was perhaps a taking of the momentum in from the end of the first half, holding Pleasanton to that field goal, to the adjustments they made. What a defensive stand we just saw from Canyon Lake.
2 in a row. The last 2 times the Eagle offense has been on the field, they've moved a little bit, but then they've stifled themselves through great defensive play and maneuvering. So good credit by the defensive coordinator.
1st and 10, Canyon Lake this time, running the football across the 5. Down to around the 6-yard line goes Chacon. He'll get a couple. See where they mark this. They are going to mark it, I believe at the 6. Yeah, so it'll be 2nd and 8. Canyon Lake.
That's a big hit that time by middle linebacker Chris Palmer, number 34, came in and laid leather on the running back during that time. He did a nice job filling from his middle linebacker position.
So from the 6, it's 2nd and 8. Canyon Lake under center. And the handoff once again. Why not? It worked the first time. It appears to pick up some yardage once again, as carrying the football around the far side is Tanner Ferris.
Always a risky play to be running lateral like that with your that far close to your own end zone, because every time the defense extends the play out towards the sidelines, it means that it's an advantage of the defense. And that time it did work to the advantage of the offense, but it's always risky to do it.
Tanner gets 3 on that run. It'll be 3rd and 5, 4 on the run. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage is their own 10-yard line. Here's the snap. Here's the pitch out to the near side once again. This is Ferris, as he takes the ball out across the 20 before he's driven out of bounds. And that's enough for a Hawk first down.
Good looking play. It's basically a jet. I wouldn't say a jet, but it's a quick quick toss to the running back that time. And Fulton had the opportunity maybe to keep it, but pitching it bad definitely had the right of way on that one.
Well, the Hawks break huddle now. It's 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage is their own 20. Here's the handoff for a couple of tough yards across the 25. I believe that's Chacon with the carry. A correction, that is Ruff with the carry. Bangs out for a couple of tough yards. They're going to give him a gain of 3, actually. 2nd and 7 for Canyon Lake from their own 23-yard line.
Tell you, most of the time it's just looked like this blood to your nose style of football, isn't it?
Oh, man. Certainly does. 2nd and 7. Here's the snap. Here's the give. This time coming near side is Ruiz across the 30 down to around the 33-yard line. That'll move the chains. Give the Hawks another first down.
That counterplay really has been working well for them this second half. And again, it's a sort of a misdirection, but it hits so fast coming back the opposite direction. Linebacker flow cannot adjust and come into the flow of the play. So it's worked well, especially when you're pulling the offside guard and it leads up into the hole during that time.
1st and 10, Hawks, their own 32. Once again, under center, the handoff straight ahead for a couple of tough yards across the 35, down to around the 30, yeah, the market at 36 for the running back, Jacob Ruff.
You know, I have to give credit to Bo. I think he did notice something that it seems like that the Hawks like running behind number 55, Jacob Foster. He's really doing a nice job moving the defender out, and they always seem to get a nice crease running behind him.
Foster, all kind of accolades, I understand, for Canyon Lake.
Well, he's not a small player by no means. He's 6'3", 275 senior, having a great year.
And the Canyon Lake Hawks take a timeout with 8:39 left to go in the ball game this evening. And our score, Canyon Lake 14, Pleasanton 10. You're enjoying Hawks playoff football on the Hawks Network.
This is the story of 9 hopeful bakers and 3 wise judges.
This is a holiday baking beauty.
We have been blessed with a holiday miracle. I nailed it.
Who will become the holiday baking champion?
All new Holiday Baking Championship, Monday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
8:39 left to go in the ball game this evening, and Canyon Lake holding on to a 14-10 lead. They've got the football. They've been controlling the clock, and on another drive. 2nd and 6. Line of scrimmage is the 36-yard line. Here's the snap. Give straight up the middle. Across the 40 down to around the 44-yard line goes Jacob Ruff once again, and he's had a nice night running the football.
Yeah, it's that quick trap play that's worked well, and this time Ruff is the benefit from that handoff. And, you know, I like it. He's wearing, it looks like yellow shoes, too. I think that looks really sharp down there in the field, and maybe that's why he's playing a good game, too. I don't know, but that's pretty cool having yellow shoes down there.
It's 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. I'll come back to that. Here's a handoff straight ahead. I think that time it was Chacon with the carry. He may make it out to about the 45. That's where they're going to mark it. It'll be 2nd and 9. Do you think this is something they picked up from the soccer players in their shoes that apparently have batteries in them that light up?
I don't know. If I was the coach, I would be a little upset because you want to be a part of the team, and that yellow kind of stands out a little bit, singling them out.
Exactly. 2nd and 9. Here's the snap. Here's the give. This time around the near side. Once again, Ferris, as he's driven out of bounds at the 45. They're going to mark this at about the 46-yard line. For he's met there once again. Chris Palmer, what a game he's played for Pleasanton.
He has.
Both sides of the football.
Yeah, he really has. And, Ferris is fairly lucky that he actually got a favorable bounce on that fumble, too, and it went right back into his hands where he's able to pick up a few yards out of it. 3rd long.
It is 3rd and 6. Want to control the football and sustain this drive. 3rd and 6, Canyon Lake. Here's a snap, drop back. He has a man. Ferris at the 20, the 15-yard line. When you least expect it, Fulton finds Ferris down the field for a huge Hawk first down.
Well, there you go. All the run, and play action pass. Ferris beats the safety and just is wide open. And Fulton did a nice job of just laying it in the breadbasket. That's a huge passing catch for first down.
That's how you draw it up in the locker room.
It really is. Looks good.
That is beautiful. 1st and 10, Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage is the Pleasanton 14-yard line. As they hit the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. Fulton. This time handing it off on the far side of the field.
Chacon.
And that is Chacon with the run. As he crosses the 10 down to around the 8-yard line. It'll be second and call it about 5 maybe for Canyon Lake.
Sure looked like he made more than that. Golly.
Okay, 2nd and 4. You're right.
Give that extra yard in there. It's good for stats. It's good for stats.
They break huddle to the line of scrimmage. Line of scrimmage is the Pleasanton 8. Here's Fulton, the snap. This time the handoff to Ferris. He's going to be trapped behind the line of scrimmage and thrown for a loss. That time coming over to make the stop for Pleasanton, that was Juan Ramirez.
Looks like he might have lost a yard on that one.
Yeah, it'll be third. Should be third. Yeah, 3rd and 5. Line of scrimmage is the 8. They can get a first down. Just inside the 5 at about the 4-yard line. They can pick up another first down.
Interesting call here at 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Down here in the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. This is a tough call.
Here we go, Fulton with a snap. This time handoff straight ahead for some tough yards. He's going to be awful close to the first down. Goes the running back, St. John.
You're going to be 4th down and short about a half a yard. He's going for it.
Wow, I was going to say, call of the game right here. You control the football. Clock continues to run as you keep the football on the ground. So Coach Drum rolling the dice this time for the Canyon Lake Hawks. Everybody on their feet. They understand the importance of this play. It's 4th and 1. Here's the give straight ahead. This will be a Canyon Lake first down. Penalty markers on the field. We'll check this.
It was offsides. Maybe the defense lined up in a neutral zone, maybe, or I didn't see any movement before the snap of the ball. Did you?
I did not. Here comes the call.
Offsides and number 68 of the defense.
Neutral zone.
Results in a first down.
That was a huge first down. A gutsy call from Coach Drum and a huge first down for the Canyon Lake Hawks, who have the football now. 1st and goal. Line of scrimmage is the 3-yard line of the Pleasanton Eagles. And that clock continues to tick away with 5 minutes left to go in the ball game. 1st and goal. Here's the snap. Here's the give. Coming near side into the end zone. Touchdown Hawks. That is Tristan Chacon with a carry.
Well, and you could just see the defense. They're just getting worn out. They just get pounded and pounded and pounded, play after play, and then they hit with a play-action pass that sets them up. 1st and goal. It's just that type of the offensive style that really takes it out on the defense, and this is traditionally what you're going to see from Canyon Lake.
Absolutely, and you know, I was wondering if due to the fact that a lot of these players are playing on both sides of the football, they could be a little bit more fatigued.
I think you're right.
Here's the extra point is good. We've got 4:52 left to go in tonight's ball game. Canyon Lake opens up their lead now 21-10 over the Pleasanton Eagles. You're enjoying Hawks playoff football on the Hawks Network.
Make memories of a lifetime this Thanksgiving weekend at Bernie's 18th Annual Dickens on Main celebration Friday and Saturday, November 24th and 25th. Stroll Main Street Snowy Wonderland as you enjoy live ice sculpting, a 60-foot snow slide, photos with Santa, and of course holiday shopping along Bernie's Hill Country Mile. Dickens on Main features fun children's activities, live performances like Bah Humbug, a one-man Christmas carol, horse-drawn carriages, food merchants, and amazing concerts each night. And admission is free. Visit dickensonmain.com for all the details.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
4:52 left to go in tonight's ball game. Tristan Chacon just took the ball over from the 3-yard line. The extra point good to extend Canyon Lake's lead to 21-10 over the Pleasanton Eagles. Here's the kickoff. This one handled. Coming to the near side, that is Daniel Valadez, who takes the ball across the 30, down to around the, well, call it the 34-yard line, which is, I believe, where they're going to spot it. Be 1st and 10 Pleasanton from that point.
Those short kickoffs, or those pooch kickoffs, they work when your kickoff team gets down there really quick. They make the tackle after about 3 or 4 yards, but this time you got to give credit to the kickoff receiving team for the Eagles. Did a nice job to pick up something. They got decent field position out of this now.
Absolutely. It's 1st and 10 Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is their own 33-yard line. Trips to the near side. Single receiver far side for quarterback Johnny Zamora, who's once again barking out signals. This time looks far side. Pass is complete. That's Bosquez who hauls it in, gets down near the 40-yard line for a nice little completion.
That's just too easy, Roland. He's one-on-one with Bohm out there, man-to-man coverage, but he's giving them an 8-yard cushion. It's just too easy for a pass and catch.
That's gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 for Pleasanton. Once again, 2 receivers either side for Zamora. Dropping back, Zamora looking right side. He's back out of the backfield, seems like. His running back, which it is, an Austin Renner, who hauls in that catch. Gets down to about the 40, call it the 44-yard line, where the Eagles will have a first down.
Well, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This is plenty of time for them to get down the field and score quickly for this type of offense.
2 scores down. R. Pleasanton trips to the near side, single receiver to the far side. Here's Zamora taking the snap. He's feeling pressure. He'll be sacked. Oh, C.J. Parrish coming over to put the hit on him. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he had some help.
Is that Snowden in there
I
too?
think it was Snowden, absolutely.
Yeah. That's what you have to do. You got to get pressure and contain Zamora. That's the only way to disrupt this style of offense. And again, the defense comes up big with a first down sack.
2nd and 19 for Pleasanton. 2 receivers either side this time for Zamora. Dropping back. Once again, pressure coming. He unloads. Has a man across the 40 at the 42-yard line. This is wide receiver Gabriel Murillo as he hauls that in close to, back to near the original line of scrimmage. Be 3rd and 11 for Pleasanton as that clock continues to run now with 2:50 left to go in tonight's ball game.
But rolling 3rd down and 11 is very doable for this offense, so you got to keep the pressure on Zamora.
2 receivers either side. Zamora dropping back, feeling pressure, unloads in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. That is Dalton Hobbs, usually a sure-handed receiver for the Eagles. That one just, he must have just looked it away.
Hobbs had it in his hands right on the sideline, but for some reason he bobbled it and stepped out of bounds. And yeah, you're right. Hobbs is a good quality receiver with 13 touchdowns in the season. He has more touchdowns than the other receivers. It's ironic that he would bobble that pass, huh?
That is irony. Now I believe there's a timeout on the field. Pleasanton taking a timeout. That'd be their second one of the half. Let's step aside to 2:34 left to go in tonight's ball game. Our score: Canyon Lake 21, Pleasanton 10. You're enjoying Hawks playoff football on the Hawks Network.
We are the UIL.
From the coaches
to the players to the educators.
We've been in your shoes.
Extracurricular activities are essential to the development of our youth.
From proposed rule changes
to the relaxation of transfer rules, we keep it fair.
New academic contests, we hear you loud and clear.
New events are music to our ears. We just added film. That's a wrap.
Educational activities help young people become productive citizens.
From staph infections to steroid use.
To cardiac and concussions.
Health and safety is a priority.
Heat, heart, and health history.
From heat-related illness to head injuries to heart-related issues, medical history of students.
Your well-being is our priority. because we are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
4th and 11 for the Pleasanton Eagles. And pressure coming once again on Zamora. He'll be caught. He'll be sacked. Huge defensive stand that time. Joseph Crisp. What a football game that young man has played.
Linebacker blitz, double barrel blitz. As a matter of fact, both linebackers came, one up the middle, one off the edge, and they just got back in the backfield. Zamora was trying to look down on the weak side for his receiver, but he had no time to set his feet to try to throw the pass. He was sacked.
And you know, credit to that Canyon Lake secondary who's been keeping those receivers tied up. Huge defensive second half for the Canyon Lake Hawks. They've held the high-power offense of the Pleasanton Eagles scoreless here in the second half. It's 1st and 10, Canyon Lake from the Pleasanton 32. This time the give across the 30 down to around the 29-yard line.
Fulton faked it and then kept it himself back across the line of scrimmage for about a 3-yard gain. And you know what Canyon Lake's going to do here.
Run the football.
But they need to get up at least one first down, though, to keep the clock in their favor.
And why not? 2 minutes left to go in tonight's ball game. It's 2nd and 8, Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage is the Pleasanton Eagle 30. As Ferris checks into the ball game, along with Nick McCormick, who'll be checking in. Here's the give. This time Ferris across the far side, the 20. Ferris on his feet near the 15-yard line. Out inside the 15 to near the 10 actually is where he's brought down. Big tackle that time coming over to make the stop. That was Gabriel Anguiano for Pleasanton.
Roland, you just see this defensive unit, just they're exhausted.
Yeah.
They've been beaten up now the whole second half, and they're exhausted.
Well, there are pluses and minuses to playing on both sides of the football, and tonight I think we're seeing one of the detriments. 1st and 10, Canyon Lake. Line of scrimmage is the Eagle 12. Here's the handoff coming near side. With the football, that is Chacon into the end zone for another Canyon Lake touchdown.
They brought an extra offensive lineman to this one side of the formation, so they overloaded and everybody blocked down and kicked out. And I mean, Chacon had an open pathway all the way to the end zone for a touchdown.
Chacon's 2nd touchdown run of the night.
Just to make sure that there was no comeback by the Eagles, I guess, right?
I guess so. Here's the extra point attempt. This one by Lorette. Kick is good. We got 66 ticks on the clock left this evening. Our score now, Canyon Lake 28 and the Pleasanton Eagles 10. We're going to step aside for a moment. You're enjoying Hawks playoff football all along the Hawks Network.
Rolls to his right, fires downfield, has McDonough at the 25, far sideline, gets a block, 10, 5, touchdown!
Runner tag, throw down a home plate, on line, throw back to third, tag is in time!
And I now have the privilege of presenting a valedictorian award for Canyon Lake High School to Erica Colston.
You're watching Hawks Network!
Back with you live at Gustafson Stadium in San Antonio, Texas. Another big touchdown run that time from Tristan Chacon. His 2nd of the night, this time from 13 yards out. The extra point is good. And with 1:06 left to go in tonight's ball game, the Canyon Lake Hawks look like they're on their way to victory. 28-10 up on the Pleasanton Eagles, who've been really ineffective offensively here in the second half.
Yeah. We'll give credit to the defense of the Hawks. I mean, they made the adjustments.
Absolutely. Here is the kickoff. This one once again fielded by Valadez across the 25. He stopped at about the 27-yard lines where they're going to mark this, or correction, 28, I believe.
Yeah.
And it'll be Pleasanton football First and 10 from that point.
And there's some tempers flaring out there too. Some frustration by Pleasanton and some of the players. I don't blame them, but that's when you have to hold your composure.
Yeah, absolutely. What a season they've had. Their first 10-win season since 2012.
Yep.
It's first and 10 for Pleasanton. Actually, they marked this at the 29-yard line, so it's their own 29. Two receivers either side this time for Zamora. Takes the snap, dropping back. Pressure coming once again. He steps away from it. Tries to take off with the football, and he'll be met there and dropped in on the stop that time for Canyon Lake. That is Grayson Lee.
Totally a secondary sack that time. Zamora had no one open, and he bought about as much time as he could with his legs until finally he was sacked.
He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Pleasanton Eagles. Line of scrimmage is their own 29-yard line. .20 seconds left to go. Here's Zamora dropping back. This time he looks near side, has a man. That's Murillo. Across the 35, down to around the 37-yard line, and the clock stops with 12 seconds left. Well, the Canyon Lake Hawks move on to play the La Vega Pirates, coincidentally. One of their early playoff wins, actually, as they stepped up to 4A back in 2014. Under Coach Charlie Drum, they beat La Vega that year in the playoffs before moving on to drop one to Rockport Fulton. So we certainly wish them the best of luck as they take on the La Vega Pirates next week. Third and 1 for Pleasanton. Line of scrimmage is their own 38-yard line. High snap. Zamora brings it down. Zamora tries to keep, unloads it. As that time he was in the grasp.
Rosas chasing him down from the backside.
Richard Rosas feeling it. He unloaded the football, I guess, to avoid the sack. 7 seconds left. It's 4th and 1.
Of course, it's pretty easy when you're on the defensive line. You just bat your ears and come full blast at this point. You know, you just and really it was the same situation a couple of series ago too. You knew what they were going to try to do. So as an offensive lineman and linebackers, when you're coming on the blitz and coming off the edge, boy, it's 100 miles per hour. Your ears are batting, and nothing stops you, and that makes it a lot of fun.
Sure. This one should be the final play of the ball game. It's 4th and 1. Snap to Zamora. He unloads, has a man across the 45 midfield. Goes his wide receiver Jordan Bosquez.
He's out of bounds.
Out of bounds, and this one is over. The Canyon Lake Hawks advance to take on the La Vega Pirates next week in 4A playoff competition as tonight. They have eliminated the Pleasanton Eagles by a final score of 28-10. We'll be back to wrap it up from Gustafson Stadium in San Antonio in just a moment. This is Hawks Playoff Football on the Hawks Network.
Daddy's got to go to work.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart.
Back at Gustafson Stadium, our post game, our final, the Canyon Lake Hawks remain alive in the 2017 playoff hunt for a classification as they knock off the Pleasanton Eagles by a final score of 28-10. And Jeff Gandy, your thoughts on this one this evening?
It was a great football game. I had a lot of fun calling it with you, Roland, for the first time. It was a blast being up here in the booth, and we saw both teams, you know, they were pretty equally balanced. They just do things differently, and you know, one just came out the second half and really put it to their opponent, and that was the Canyon Lake Hawks. And you know, give credit to them for the victory, but also congratulations to the Eagles of Pleasanton as well. They had a great season, and Coach Liska, I'm sure he's very proud of his kids, and they've got a lot to build on. They've got momentum now, and they can build a program from. So no and no shame or nothing to hold your head down as far as they're concerned. And for the Hawks, they get to play another round.
Absolutely.
That's what the playoffs are about.
Absolutely. And in that next round, as we mentioned, it's the La Vega Pirates, as earlier today in San Antonio, they defeated the King Brahmas by a final score of 54-7. That was at Hero Stadium. So we await the location of next week's playoff contest, and you better believe you're going to catch the action right here on the Hawks Network. So once again, for Jeff Gandy, for our producer Bo Wick, and for all the fine staff at Wick Productions, I'm Roland J. Vries saying have yourselves a great evening. Till next time, so long, everybody.
Rolls to his right, fires downfield, has McDonough at the 25, far sideline, gets a block, 10, 5, touchdown!
Runner tags, throw down to home plate. On line, throw back to third. Tag is in time.
And I now have the privilege of presenting a valedictorian award for Canyon Lake High School to Erica Colston.
You're watching Hawks Network.